All right, let's look at the theorem 3, translation mapping. All right, if we have two parallel lines, L and M, and then any line at N will be mapped to another parallel line if you apply reflection in L and then reflection in M. All right, so here's the proof. All right, we're going to let n prime is equal to the image of line n under S of L. All right, then I'm going to use n double prime as the image of n prime under the reflection S of M, right? Which is the same thing as the composition of S of L and S of N. All right, so what we want to do is we want to show that the n and n double prime are parallel. All right, so let's do that. All right, so I drew two parallel lines, L and M. All right, then I take n to be a non-parallel line. All right, because let's see. So if n was parallel to L and M, any linear transformation will map parallel lines to parallel lines. So obviously, if you apply another transformation, it's still going to be parallel. So original line n is automatically parallel to n double prime. All right. So that case is already taken care of. So what if n is not parallel to L or M? All right. So I just drew a random n. All right, so here's a construction. So we're going to apply reflection about line L. So we're going to end up getting something like this. So this is going to be, let's see, maybe I'll try to, so this is going to be kind of reflected over to the other side. So we're going to get n prime, which looks kind of like this. Right, this is going to be our n prime. All right, then we apply another reflection in line M. So let's see, so then this is going to be reflected over to this side. You end up something like that, right? So this is going to be n double prime, and they look like they're parallel, but we have to prove that. All right, so here's what we're going to do. It's actually quite simple, right, if you have a picture. All right, so we're going to start with, I'm going to keep track of the congruent angles. All right, so by Z property, since L and M are parallel to each other, so we know that the angle here is going to be congruent to angle there, right? Then maybe I'll write it like this, right? Next step would be, right? So since this is a reflection preserves angle, so we know that this angle is going to be congruent, right? Then we have a vertical angle, so we know that this is going to be congruent. Right, then we can use another Z property here to show that this is congruent. Right, then since this is a reflection, so we know that the angle is preserved, so this is congruent. Right, then we are basically done, because you can see that here this is a Z property again to show that n and n double prime are parallel to each other. So we have n is parallel to n double prime. This is by Z property again. Right? So therefore, if you compose two line reflections where those two lines are parallel, then the composition is going to map a line to a parallel line. All right? That's it. I hope that this was clear.